Thanks, Kerry. My name's Kerry Davies. I'm the project worker at the Council of Single Mothers and Their Children. The organisation was formed in 1969 by a group of women who were unmarried single mothers and women who, without being married, had found themselves pregnant and been forced to give their children up for adoption. There's been a lot of history around that coming out lately with the apologies from every state in Victoria and from the federal government, at the same time as taking away the benefits for single parents. The benefits that were introduced were really responsible for stopping that culture of women being forced to give away their children, much-loved children that would have been able to stay with their mothers had they been able to support them. It's not just financial. We are culturally shifting back to a time where women are being demonised for wanting to look after their children. We're being told that we should be prioritising full-time paid work over the care of our children, without appropriate childcare available to everyone to even know that those children are being looked after by someone else while at work. It's not good enough. Women and children who survived those forced adoptions have ongoing trauma from that experience. And this is what's going to start happening again. Other people have mentioned women being forced into prostitution. Women are going to be forced to give away babies, and it is not good enough. What we need to do is have a social support system that includes financial support and emotional and practical support for parents to prioritise looking after their children, because without exception, I can say that every single parent I have spoken to who rings our telephone support line, who are my friends, who are my colleagues, who are people I have studied with, they are going to give up a job. They are going to give up their study. They're going to give up everything if it means prioritising the care of their children. So, we have a situation now where people are doing just that. It is the absolute reverse of the government's claims of getting people into work. As has been said by quite a few other speakers, people who are working have been penalised the most harshly financially, with absolutely no benefits to those who weren't working in helping them get these mythical jobs that don't exist. Even the childcare that's so hard to get is only for a brief couple of hours before and after school. This doesn't include nighttime work, shift work of any kind, and the kind of low-skilled jobs that a lot of single parents need to do while they're studying, or because they've been out of the workforce so long that they can't get a more professional position. Cleaning offices, working in hospitality, so many women do these jobs so that they can look after their families properly, and if they don't have any family support, those children are left on their own at night, because that's the way it has to be. At the Council of Single Mothers and Their Children, we recently sent a list of questions to the major political parties. The answers to those questions are on our website, which is csmc.org.au. The Coalition didn't respond, unsurprisingly. The Labor Party and the Greens have responded, and I would encourage and welcome any other political party or candidate to go onto our website, find those questions and respond to them. If you can do that before the election, we will certainly post a response on our website as well, because if single mothers want to inform their vote for this election, they can go and read those responses. I would also like to say, again, to address the cultural problem that we're having at the moment, there is no change in how many hours work women have to do if they are parenting alone. So there is an acknowledgement that people who are single parents can only work a certain amount of hours a week because they need to have time to care for their children appropriately. This was simply a cash grab. It was only a few bucks anyway in terms of how big our budget actually is. And the long-term savings are not going to play out because of the effects that this is going to have. We definitely need New Start allowance to be increased, not only for single parents but for everybody. I know single people who don't have children who can't afford to pay rent on New Start allowance. How on earth is someone who needs that extra bedroom or two going to survive? Rents have skyrocketed. It is not as simple as moving out further and further and further, as so many single parents have done. The media are constantly asking us for wonderful people to talk to, and I have a list, as long as all of our arms put together, of women who are willing to talk to the media, but the media aren't willing to go and talk to them because they live in the far outer suburbs or the regional areas of Victoria. And the media keep saying, you keep recirculating the same people over and over again, no one needs someone new. Well, the reality is that because the rents have been skyrocketing and because people's financial resources have been going down, these people aren't in Melbourne anymore, and they are now out in outer suburbs or in regional Victoria with less money, no cars, no jobs out there either, and no way of supporting their families. So all people are doing is prioritising scrimping and cutting back and cutting back. There is no future for people who are doing that. There is no hope. There is no way of those people becoming active and contributing members of this community if they are constantly thinking about what they have to save and cut back. They are not able to take part as they should be, and neither are their children. I would like to also acknowledge that there is so much intersectionality. There are so many things that intersect for single parents. Every single parent's experience is unique, but some of these barriers that have been mentioned that are common do affect us all. But there are so many people who have no family support. There are people who have plenty of family support and they think, what are these people complaining about? I don't think anyone has a concept of how lonely and how desperate it can get when you are the only adult who is not only financially responsible, but again, emotionally responsible and practically responsible for your children's needs, without a break, without any babysitting assistance because you can't afford formal assistance, and once children are 12 there isn't any formal assistance, and no family or friends to call on in that situation. Some of the people who are in that desperate situation are actually there because they have suffered serious abuse at the hands of the children's father, and it has meant that they have had to isolate themselves for their safety. These are not people nobody cares about or nobody loves. These are people, again, who have had to shut down in some ways parts of their life so that they and their children can survive. There are people who are not receiving any child support, again, financial assistance, or any reliable practical or emotional support for their children from those children's other parent. And these people are facing even bigger barriers to then go out and work, or study, or any of those things. There will always be people in our community, not just single parents, but for all sorts of reasons, there will always be people in our community who are going to need financial support. It's the least we can give them. Thanks. I'd like to finish by saying that this fight isn't over. Thank you everyone who has come and all the people who do keep coming to these rallies. It is really important to continue, and we all know that there are so few people every time because they are the very women I was just talking about. They can't come, and they know that we're here for them, and the more we keep coming out, the more they will know that, and the more we will be able to affect positive change. Thank you.